Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here. Today I'm doing a video review for the Philips BDM3275UP. What a mouthful. This is a 4K display that runs on IPS AHVA panel. It's 32 inch, it's got 16:9 aspect ratio, it's got a quoted response time typical of 12 milliseconds. It can be boosted down to 4 milliseconds, but I'll get into that in just a second. It's got two 3-watt speakers and it runs at 60 Hz on a resolution of 3840x2160 when used over DisplayPort 1.2 or HDMI 2.0. In terms of its inputs, it's got VGA, DVI-D, DisplayPort and HDMI, as I said, in terms of 2.0, which has also got the MHL compatibility, which can be used with a mobile. Finally, it's got two 3.5mm jacks, one for input, one for output, which is useful. Other than that, you can find its full specs linked in the description below. In terms of its price, it can be found for £617 on Amazon.co.uk. Again, link will be down in the description in case you're interested. So let's talk about its build quality first. The build quality is extremely impressive. I've been very impressed with Philips displays in terms of their overall build, and this is no different. The monitor can be adjusted fully in terms of going up and down. It can do a full 180, which I can't do via my desk. It does a full 180 and also has the tilt functionalities. All the functionalities are great for people who are going to be using this as a design monitor. In terms of its bezels, they're very low profile, which means that they're not distracting, which is fantastic and great to see. The overall finish is nice. It's black and like a brushed-ish look at the bottom, which also means it's not too distracting and also looks professional. I should mention what I didn't like is the touchscreen on OSD settings, which are a little bit of a pain to use. When you're accidentally brushing your fingers near your on-screen button, you might suddenly hit a sort of setting. But the on-screen display itself is actually very useful. You've got all different types of options. For example, you can change the smart response, which is something I mentioned, the gamma. You can change the color settings, color temperature or sRGB or user-defined. I would have liked to see a little bit more user-defined features, considering it's a monitor made for designers, but still it's impressive. And finally, as I said before, that you're going to need DisplayPort 1.2 or HDMI 2.0. You have to set these in the OSD before actually using them or being enabled to use 60 Hz. So right now I'm using it over DisplayPort. Finally, I should mention that this monitor has speakers, which I mentioned in the specs, but the speakers are not that impressive, and to be honest, nothing worth really talking about apart from saying, well, it's got them, but I wouldn't really listen to them personally because a small set of speakers will do a much better job overall. Now, what's most important about this monitor is how does it perform in terms of its colours, and I must say I am super impressed. I really love how accurate the colours are and how well they shine through. Very impressive in terms of the overall colour reproduction and the overall screen uniformity. I didn't notice much backlight bleeding, which is often found in bigger monitors, and there's hardly any of it. As you can see, quite a black image over here on the sides, you hardly get any backlight bleeding, which is fantastic to see. I should also mention in terms of its colour accuracy is that the colours can obviously be adjusted and calibrated to your desire, but for me, out the box, I felt that it did a really great job. If anything, it could be a little bit darker in its blacks, but that's me being really picky. I should also mention that this is a 10-bit capable monitor, and I don't have a 10-bit graphics card, so that is also another factor. So obviously you have to have a 10-bit card, which is ridiculously expensive, but I've got a normal GTX 960 which outputs 8-bit. Well, as far as I'm aware, it outputs 8-bit. So anyway, from what I've tested, I've been impressed with. Finally, I should mention its gaming performance. Now, I did mention that you can boost down its response time to 4 milliseconds. Now, you can do that via the on-screen display, changing the smart response from normal to fastest, which is something that that I would suggest doing if you're going to be gaming. However, it's not something that I found that really positively affected the monitor, and by that I mean it added all increased ghosting. Now don't worry, I'm not actually MGE, that's just a Smurf account, one of the many Smurf accounts that I've got, but the smart response over here can be found, and you can change it to fast, faster and fastest. On fastest mode, I did find it to be really much faster in terms of how it was in terms of its input lag and its overall response time. But just overall, I would say that it added extra ghosting, which to me wasn't desirable, and it had a lot of problem processing the image when on fastest. But when it was on off mode, I didn't notice any problems with ghosting, but obviously I noticed a huge reduction in terms of the overall response of the monitor. So over here you can see like weird colors on the background over here, and as soon as I go up to off, you'll notice that the colors over here disappear, like they're all like black kind of gray ghosting that happens doesn't occur anymore over here. So it's much slower to respond, but as soon as I go faster, it's much faster to respond, but then you get the problem. Anyway, that's the problem of the monitor, but that said, it's not designed for gamers, so I don't expect people to buy gaming on this monitor. It's possible if you so wish. Anyway guys, overall I think this monitor is fantastic for its use. It's a 4K display, it's very accurate, it's 32 inch, meaning it's loads of space for you to do all your design work and whatever you so wish. It's got fantastic build quality. Its price is affordable considering it's a 4K display and 32 inch. Of course you can find cheaper 4K displays, but they won't be as big or won't be as good in terms of what they can do. And I should also mention it's flicker free, meaning that you can look at it for a long period of time without it disturbing your eyes as such. So overall guys, big thumbs up from me. Definitely great job from Philips for producing such a great monitor, and I would definitely recommend it for designers. I wouldn't recommend it for gamers or like casual people, but just for designers or people looking for a really accurate monitor, then this thing is, well, one of the best monitors I've come across in terms of its range of colors, and its size as well. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Make sure you give it a like, comment and a subscribe, and definitely favourite and share if you found this video useful for your family and friends. Alright guys, I'm Totally Dubbed. Take care. Bye bye.